Hey Marcia, morning, afternoon actually, how you doing? Hey Marcia, morning. Hey guys, hey, hope you're well. Yeah, weekend was good. How was your weekend?
Aç 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 arayı.
Just having a looking at what's happening in the market. So I caught gold this morning, just over here. Just seeing if I could potentially get another re-entry. So gold, just kind of break gold down for you guys. You should have gold from our weekly watch list. What my expectation is. My expectation is for gold to kind of head into this range and take out this week 15-minute swing low to continue the 4-hour push to the downside until we come down to this area of demand and then kind of enter a 4H pullback. Just going to delete this for a second. So for now it's just continuation to take out this previous low. Is what I'm looking for. But within that, obviously there was a pullback trade potential back to the upside. Now you could see at the end of last week we had this huge sell-off, and then we kind of had this pullback, and then price kind of came down. So you could see price failed to take out the previous low, which was this here, and then we started to push to the upside, and that's kind of where we on Friday we closed here. So now when the markets kind of opened during Asian session, we started to enter a retracement. But for me, this was always going to be a pullback, because if we were really going to continue down, price would have really taken out this low and continued bearish. So the internal structure shifted bullish here. Now again, you could see, for me anyway, this is one swing leg of price action. Within this, everything is pretty internal. So coming into the market, we could see what price kind of did. We tapped into that perfect pullback region, and then we started to push to the upside. So here's our key pullback area. So price perfectly sustained that, and then you could see what we started to do. We had this area of supply, which if price was going to continue bearish and take out these lows, we would have respected this supply and continued down. So as price pushed up, we reacted to supply, and then we kind of came down, and then we started to push to the upside, taking out this internal high and taking out some of these highs. So we had some nice momentum. And then, you could just see we have this area of demand created, this down candle before this push up. We created some liquidity above here. And as we pulled back into this, there was my entry. You could see price tapped into it, pushed up, retested this area, and then continued pushing off to the upside. Now the entry here is all based on everything that's kind of happened here. Expecting that pullback. We created a higher low here. Price failed to break the low. Supply failed. Price pulled back. We bottomed out here nicely, and then we started to push to the upside. So looking at that now, I'm expecting all of this area of imbalance to be filled. And you can see internally, we had a breaker structure here. So now we have this entire swing leg. So it's highly possible that price kind of retraces from here to continue pushing up. And then once price gets into this region, I'll be looking for some downside price action to continue pushing price back to the downside. So that's kind of been the gold trade for today so far. Everything else on the weekly watch list, so AUDCHF is approaching that significant weekly pullback area. As you can see, this is that kind of key area that we're approaching. Now on the daily, you could see there was our last daily swing. We broke that. We're still continuing bearish. This is that last indecision candle before the next push to the upside. Let's see, does it give us anything here? So yeah, here's that area of demand. Aligns with our fib. So I'll be looking for some lower time frame to at least trade a pullback. But we've got some time before we kind of get into that region before there's any kind of trade set up with that. So AUDCHF, still waiting for price to head back up into this region. And then look for some potential trade opportunities there. AUD/USD, so we tapped into this area of supply that we've got up over here, demand, sorry, as you can see. But we had a further demand resting below here with some inefficiency, so be interesting to see, is this just a pullback and we get a continuation down into here and then we get a shift to trade this, or just price just continue pushing off from this area here? CHF JPY, as I said in the weekly watch list, there's nothing really. Price is just rallying off to the upside, so there's no trade on this pair. So Euro AUD, we had this area of supply where price kind of paused, but we had a nice continuation push to the upside. So for now, for where price is, where is the next area of supply that's unmitigated? So if we go on the weekly chart, we do have this area of supply that caused this push down that we could see a reaction to. As you can see, it's refined here. This price action never mitigated that, nor did we tap in here. So we'll wait and see what price does at this zone. So I'm going to delete some of this stuff here. So you can see price is creating some nice structure here. We've got 4-hour breaker structure here. We have a 4-hour breaker structure here. Price entered a pullback here, but you can see it reacted from this area of demand and continued higher. And now we're creating some more 4-hour structure here. So, we could see price have some sort of a retracement at this 50% zone, but for now, again, there's nothing on there. There's nothing on Euro CAD. We had that internal breaker structure. If we can get some sort of a retracement before we mitigate this high time frame supply, then there could be a trade opportunity. Otherwise, price might tap into this, and lower time frame, we might just see a pushback from here. Euro GBP, still waiting for it to approach this level up here. So Euro JPY, we had Euro JPY on a lower time frame. We had price have a change of character down over here, and then we were looking for shorts as price kind of came into this area of supply. Now, looking at this from a higher time frame perspective, this is just sometimes what price does. You know, price had this change of character as we come up above over here. I was looking to take a short within this region, but I never. I was. This was obviously during Asian session. Price kind of tapped into this, but you could see in this pullback, price kind of just reacted to this supply, but all it did was created a pullback for a continuation. Now, if price had broken this and had a change of character back to the downside, there was higher probability, so there was nothing wrong with taking a trade here. But if somebody took a trade here, it's about managing risk. So you could have still taken a trade up in these areas, stops above this zone. You know, even if you're targeting the break of this swing low, your first target should be, right, okay, can we break this low? Now, from here to here, what was that? That was still 44 pips. So as I always say, look at things from a reversal perspective. You could see as price came into this area of demand and this fib area, a minor reaction is expected sometimes. But if price is not breaking through this, then the likelihood is price is going to reverse from here, which is exactly what it did. So if that was me in this trade, I would have at least closed 70% here, moved my stops to break even, and then eventually I would have got stopped out for the rest. But it's fine. But not taking profits here is, you know, you're just marrying yourself to a bias, just expecting because we had a change of character, price has to do what we're expecting it to do. It doesn't have to. You know, you could have still taken some nice profits and realized that, right, if price was going to truly continue bearish, we would have taken out this structure, but we never. And this is where we start to reverse from. So, you know, learning to manage, how to take partials and take profits along the way is significant. You know, so you could see we're just now continuing to push to the upside, and this is just part of that 4-hour swing structure, you know, because this isn't really a deep enough retracement for this push to the upside. So all of these are just internal breaks of structures. Now if we look at it from a daily perspective, we've had a daily break of structure over here. You know, because the last push that we had was, we had higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. We had a higher high, higher low. We had a higher high, slightly broke below, and then boom, we continued pushing to the upside. So for here and now, you know, there's nothing in this until we don't. But at least what we've done here is we've created, like you can see here, all of these are very minor pullbacks. Here we've created some decent structure. So at any point, if price does decide to fail, then we have a nice 4-hour swing structure to work with lots of levels of imbalances for price to fill. But for now, you know, it's just continuation. So Euro NZD, like I had said, price is in a high time frame area of supply here. So I'm not expecting a full-on reversal, but this could be a catalyst for a pullback. Now you can see on the high time frame on the hourly chart, we've approached the top of this zone. And now on a 15-minute, and again I said this in my weekly watch list, you know, this kind of happened during Asian session, so I wasn't awake, but you could see all price did was price had a pullback, mitigated this supply. We kind of had a pullback and then we continued higher, but what have we done? We had a internal breaker structure here, which is good because now we've created some structure. So if we were to shift now, if we were to take out this low and have a pullback, we could look to start trading the pullback. But right now in this uptrend, this was all internal price action, just a build up of liquidity on either side. We've got liquidity there, and we've got liquidity there in this range. So we sweep the liquidity from below, and then we sweep the liquidity from above. But now we've had an internal breaker structure, so at least if we shift, then we can look to take some potential shorts to the downside as pullback trades. But until that point, not much to look at there. So Euro USD, we could see price has broken the previous internal structure, and we've had a shift back to the upside over here at this point here. So there's our internal breaker structure back to the top side, because as you can see, if we go to the 4-hour chart, this was our last 4-hour push up from this low to this high. Here was our retracement. We came back into this area of demand. Price respected this demand and continued pushing higher, but we kind of were pretty sideways for a while, you know. So this was the last higher low that took out the previous structure, and then we had this big aggressive sell-off. Then everything here was consolidation, and then here is where we've kind of broke out of that, and you can see price is pretty efficient below here. So, you know, the typical expectation should be that price is going to continue higher and mitigate this area of supply, which it hasn't done yet. So I'm expecting this high to at least be tested. So now if we're looking at the current swing, you know, we had this big push to the upside. So pull back into this area of supply, demand, sorry, could be the next push up at least into this area of supply, which is at 1.106. So any kind of retracement back into here could be a nice push to the upside. So we'll kind of set a bit of an alert over here. So pound USD, again, it's nicely pushing up, mitigated this area that I was kind of looking at, but it's a bit choppy for me. You know, we've not had any kind of proper retracement. We're just bouncing around here. Overall, price action is bullish. You can see there's our 4-hour push up, break a structure, pullback, and now we're at least heading back up to test this area of supply, in my opinion, which you could see here. But I'd like to see a clean break of, you know, these highs here. So if we can get a break above and a pullback, then I'll look at taking some potential trades into this region. Hey, Anchor. But until that point, GU looks pretty messy. I'm just going to kind of pretty much stay away from it myself. NZD USD, no retracement, no anything. Price is in the middle of kind of nowhere. There's the swing low. We're working our way towards it, but I'm not really going to look to try shorting here at all. Yeah, USD JPY. So USD JPY is it's in that key area of reversal, but not seen anything yet. No selling pressure really to kind of short into this yet. On the 15-minute, you can see that's the area of supply. So at least on a lower time frame, what I'd like to at least see is price come into here and at least reject to kind of short. So if we go into the M15, you know, this is that fib zone. Price is wicked into it once and kind of had a push down, but we've not really seen any kind of selling pressure yet. So personally, I'll still be waiting to see, right, do we get any selling pressure coming in here in order to kind of short this. And on a 5 minute, you could see at the base of, at the top of this, we still have some area of imbalance here, and we have that supply that caused that aggressive selling. So personally, I'm waiting to see if price can kind of come into here to then look to short. So that's the potential in USD JPY. As you can see, you know, still there's no kind of selling pressure yet to kind of short, and price is still pushing higher. So again, just need to wait and be patient with this. Nice, yeah, just, you know, sitting there waiting. Again, you know, as price tapped into it here, started pushing down here. There was nothing really, you know, there was no real strong selling pressure here, and you know we have a refined area of supply, so we still have this area. Price could come into the extreme. Like if price breaks out of this, then there's nothing, because there's nothing for price to mitigate on a lower time frame. Everything is efficient above here. You know, this supply was mitigated here. This area of supply was mitigated here. This is the last area of supply in our fib area. That we're kind of waiting for price to see what it kind of does. You know, so if we don't see anything happening, any rejections happening over here, then there's really not much for us to sit there trading. And this is where it's just, you know, being patient is key at times. I'm in my gold trade, pretty happy with this. Missed some NAS buys earlier, but to be fair, I was just, the NAS has been pretty choppy, you know. We had this break below, and then we had this shift above. I wasn't on the charts. I was actually in the gym at that point, but you could see on a 5 minute chart we had this area of demand, and this was our fib pullback, and then you could see price tapped into it, mitigated it, pushed up, created a higher low, and then we had this huge bullish move up, and then perfectly price came back into this area of demand here, which aligns nicely with our fib. So looking to buy this up here would have been good. I think price is probably going to look to at least target filling out some of this inefficiency and imbalance above over here, or at least this gap here into this area of supply. So this could have been a nice trade from here to up here. Should have been like nearly 80 pips on NAS, but again I missed it, so is what it is. US 30, yeah, let's look at US, go into US 30. So US 30 mitigated this high time frame supply up here in this last swing, so I'm expecting downside. It's, you know, it's been pretty choppy around here. What have we done here? We had a break below this low. You know, price has been bouncing off of this area of demand in that zone here, as you could see here. Mitigated it a few times. What's in the 15 minutes? Yeah, so you could see here, let's refine this demand. So yeah, for me personally, there's not much in this. I'm expecting price to head down into this area of demand here, and a shift in market structure. But you can even see on the 4 hour, it's pretty choppy, you know, because if we look at this on a 4 hour, what do we see? We kind of see this push up, this retracement, this push up, this retracement, and then price failed to break above this high. So the swing low that's of significance is down here. So if we're sitting there marking this low to this high, price is perfectly reacting off of this fib zone. So even though high time frame, I'm looking for price to start selling off, we haven't shifted yet, really. You know, so you really want to see. So you really want to see the current 15-minute swing. You know, right now we're in a range here. Does price start to sell off from this point? If we start to sell off from this point and price fails to break above these highs, then I would be looking at shorts to come down and mitigate some of these areas and start to test that 4 hour low. But until that point, we're pretty much just nowhere. We are pretty much nowhere. And sometimes it's just, you know, you just got to let it be. And that's where like the higher time frame is key, because you could see the last 4 hour high was here. Here we failed to break above it. Yes, we did on the 1 hour, and then we kind of shifted bearish. But that bearish shift was just telling us that the 4 hours entered a pullback, which was down here. Just going to delete this just to keep it clean. And price is just bouncing off of that zone nicely and pushing up. So you really just want to be patient and wait to see, right, do we see rejection? Do you have any news today? Let's see. Okay, so nothing really in terms of news. So there's nothing volatile that's gonna look to push price in any real direction. CAD CHF is just continuously creating all-time lows, all-time lows. Like, look at it. Wow. So we have nothing to base it against. Pretty slow markets today. USD CHF pulled back into this area. What do we have? Lower time frame. Morning, Damien. See, to even try to trade this back up without being aggressive, kind of want to see this as a lower high that caused this low to break. So there's the last internal breaker structure we had. So price from here could just react and pull back and then create a new low. If we can get a push above and then a pullback, see a nice change of character, then we can potentially look at trading that. Any trades anyone's taken today at all? Yeah, I don't think we've got much like major all week. Or tomorrow we've got consumer consumer confidence and then like new home sales, nothing like major. Wednesday we have CPI for AUD and some 2 orange folders for USD. Thursday we have unemployment claims and GDP for USD. That could be a pretty decent day. And then Friday we have some news. So like Thursday, Friday probably, but till that point it's pretty not that bad. I mean, GA buyers still from Friday. GA buyers. Nice. Yeah, I caught these gold buys this morning. I took some off the table around here at these previous highs. I'm expecting it to continue running up till at least this area of supply, which is like 1989 region. And then potentially look at shorting from that point. As I shared, missed out on some NAS buyers earlier today during London session this morning. It is what it is. The rest is pretty much, there's not much going on. USD JPY is in this area of supply, but I'm personally seeing if it taps this region before we see some sell pressure. It is reacting to this 15-minute supply, but lower time frame is still like just bullish yet. So can we see that and then start to see some rejection? Till that point, it's pretty much just sit and watch, really. How was everyone's weekend? Hope you all had a pretty decent weekend. See what S&P 500 is doing again. Happens to the best of us, uncle. If there's any pairs you guys want me to have a look at, just fire them in the chat. I'll happily look at them. Yeah, I know the feeling, Ankle. Been there. That's it, hard work pays off. This stuff was that easy, everyone will be doing it. Indeed, Uncle. EU. Yeah, I've got over EU. EU, pretty much I'm expecting upside. 4-hour pullback kind of completed here. We had a internal breaker structure back to the top side. So I kind of said potentially a pullback off of this move because pretty much price action is efficient below. So pullback here, we could see a push higher from this point, or to come up and mitigate this area of supply. No worries. FX Summit, where is that? Miami, that sounds nice. Yeah, might look into it, to be fair. Any excuse to get away. Right, perfect. Thanks, Uncle. Probably. Probably see USD JPY come down here to this demand, which is what? Networking event. Yeah, I'll definitely look into it. See what it's about. So I'm guessing the Miami one's probably like the biggest one they do. Yeah, I know what you mean. My thoughts on the bricks forming now. How will it affect the markets? It's a it's a pretty difficult one, to be fair. You know, the way I kind of see it, the financial markets have been around. Sorry, 1 second. You know, the financial markets have been around for a long, long time, and I've still seen them being around for a very, very long time. How it affects it, to be fair, I guess it's gonna be. We'll have to wait and see what kind of happens, but I don't see any significant impact happening anytime soon. For us really to be thinking of that. But I guess you just never know with these things. But in the here and now, I don't really see much happening or affecting the markets in any substantial way, in my opinion, anyway. Yeah, that would be good, Anko. I'll definitely have a look into it. Yeah, I'll definitely look into it. So it'd be good if some of us decide to end up going. Mumbai fix, I believe, goes Anthony's well chance. No, Roger Banks will be there. Nice. Wow, the markets are slow today. Right, guys, I think I'm gonna shoot off. It's pretty quiet, not much happening. And yeah, I've shared the pairs anyway, so let's see what happens. Like I said, USD JPY, I'm still waiting for it to come into this zone and see if we can get some strong rejection to short. Gold, I'm still waiting for it to tap into this area for shorts. And the rest is kind of no here, no there really. So yeah, have a good one, and I'll catch up with you all soon. Take it easy.